Hello and welcome to the Philippines. Hop on board and come along on a little tour exploring Mactan Island, Cebu. What does it have to offer you? Uh, Going to talk a little bit about my experience. I've had a number of trips over here in the last 6 years that I've lived here. 3 trips to the Philippines, and I've lived here about 6 years. Almost, and anyway, I get a new appreciation for Mactan Island each time I go over there and find new areas. I have a little better understanding of the area. It's right across the bridges from Cebu City and Mandaue City. There's a third bridge. There are 2 bridges presently. There's a third bridge being built. Hopefully, will open up probably maybe late next year. Anyway, I believe it's the most densely populated island in the Philippines. Almost a half a million people, close to 500,000 people. The island is divided up Lapu-Lapu and Cordova. Cordova is down in the southern section. I believe it's a coral island. You've got your Cebu Mactan International Airport there. You also have a lot of industry over there. You've got a Timex factory, a number of electronics factories, furniture factories, and they've got quite a bit of transportation going in and out of there, which requires that third bridge, and there's a fourth bridge planned on the north side as well to help alleviate some of the travel. All the traffic that goes to Mactan Island right now has to, if it's coming from the south, has to go all the way through Cebu City and Mandaue to get to the bridges. If they're coming from the south, they'll be able to take the south bridge. If they're coming from the north, which is several years off, they'll be able to take that north bridge and cut down some of that congestion within the cities there. This is a tricycle ride we took. It was getting towards evening time, and it gives you a little bit of an idea of the traffic out here, types of vehicles. You've got tricycads, pedicabs, I like to call them because it makes more sense to me. But tricycads, which is a bicycle with a side cart, and they're not supposed to be on some streets, I believe, some of the main streets, and they will get. I was by a police impound lot recently, and it was full of motorbikes and tricycads and tricycles that either driver didn't have a license, they didn't have registration, or oftentimes they're on roads they're not supposed to be on, the tricycads. And one thing about the Philippines that is amazing is that they tend to share the road, unlike I know in the USA. If somebody is using your lane, there's going to be a lot of cursing and maybe some road rage. Here, people actually drive and give way. They move over. They move over, let oncoming traffic that's trying to pass. They move over and slow down so that oncoming traffic can use their lane. Whereas here you have 2 lanes. It's not unusual for them to make 3 lanes out of something like this. And people do things here that definitely would get you stressed out, put it that way, if you're used to driving in well-organized, primarily law-abiding countries, because the traffic, there is little traffic enforcement here, put it that way. They have hired a lot more, like Cebu has hired a lot more traffic enforcers. You'll see them out on corners and writing tickets. It's not unusual here to see counterflow traffic, meaning somebody's coming at you in your lane over on the right side here, using that shoulder, whatever, or half of your lane oncoming. And you've got a number of malls over there on Mactan Island. You've got Gaisano Grand Mall. You've got a couple of Gaisano Grand malls over here. You've got You've got a marina. I think it's called Marina Mall. I think Ayala is going to be building a mall over here. You've got a few other malls, shopping areas, strip mall type places. And one thing I've found with my GoPro that I'm using here is not very good at night generally. It just gets confused with especially the white balance. You've got all these different colors of headlights coming at you, and it just really gets confused with the varying lights. It doesn't know how to adjust. But anyway, this came out relatively okay. Mactan Island is known for its resorts, and it's got some pretty nice beaches. Most of the big nice resorts, they have hauled in white sand. White sand is not common to this area, so they have a number of like 5-star resorts, 4- and 5-star resorts that have manicured and brought in the white sand. Got very, very nice beaches. They also offer all the activities. You can rent the motor skis, the ski-doos. You can do some what do they call it? Paragliding on the back of a boat. Probably not the right term. Lots of different activities that you can sign on to, and then you have the cheaper resorts that you don't have the sandy beaches, but you can swim there if you like. They might have day rates of 50 pesos. The other resorts, they vary greatly. I paid 900 pesos per person a couple of years ago for about $20 US a piece, but I think 500 of that was good for, you could use it against your food bill. So that counts towards that. Some of the higher end resorts, you pay 1 to, I don't know, 3,000. Depends on what package you buy into. You pay that, and you can usually includes a buffet, lunch buffet, dinner buffet. Now here, this tricycle driver, apparently they can only run in certain parts of the city, and this was his border, so he had to drop us off, and he waved another, there's a traffic enforcer out there, he waved another guy that he's familiar with, waved him over and said, hey, you need to take these guys on to further into where we were going. I think we got dropped off at Gaisano Grande in Lapu-Lapu in the end. But you don't have very few traffic lights in Cebu City, Mactan City area. Some of these tricycles have they're decked out pretty nice. Wow. The last one we were in was, look at all those lights. Look at that one. Look at the lights on that thing. That's our next ride there. Just don't blind the traffic that's coming at you, so they run into you because they're blinded by your lights. That's the thing I always worry about. Decked out inside and outside, riding in style. I think I paid 100 pesos, maybe 150 pesos for this each of these rides separately, $2 or $3 US. There are many more bicycles out here in the last 6 months. And a lot of them don't have any lights, rear or front. Some will just have lights in the front. But there's more light out in this area than there is many areas. Many places just very, very, very dark streets, and they're wearing dark clothing. No reflectors, no lights, pretty dangerous. There's a number of bicyclists who have been killed. And many of them ride pretty dangerously too. They just, they assume, they assume that others are going to look out for them. and I've watched them. They'll make a quick move. They'll change lanes quickly without looking behind them. I don't think I've ever seen one with a mirror. Occasionally I've seen like on a Sunday, quite a while back, we took a taxi drive very early in the morning. This is the river that divides Cordova on the south from Lapu-Lapu. And the driver was just confirming that. But we took a ride to Moal over on the west side of big tourist area, diving area, west side of Cebu. And hundreds of bikers out there for many kilometers, even up over the mountains, out there on Sundays, I was told, getting their Sunday rides in, their exercise. And some of them decked out in, the riding uniform. So probably part of a biking club or something, maybe a racing club. But many of them also did not have lights on, so it was, and they were just all over the road a lot of times. Sometimes big groups of them taking up the whole road, sometimes not. But you add that, you add pedestrians, you add dogs and kids, all that type of thing. That look out, dogs. Speaking of dogs, that can run out in front of you. A friend of mine had a dog run over and killed recently, and the people let their dogs out, they let them run pretty much. So you don't know. I could drive here. I would not want to drive here in the evening because it's just too many hazards out there. Now Mactan also has many different resorts, a number of different hotels, and in fact this road here, this is going to be part of their widening it. It's going to be part of that main road that comes in here off the new South Bridge. Mactan has quite a few housing subdivisions. They're building a number of condominium hotel resorts over on the east side of the island that you can buy in or rent all the way on up to the north end of Mactan Island. And anyway, these subdivisions, I've done a couple videos in a couple of them. So maybe I'll put a link at the end of this video, the last few seconds of the video, I'll put a link to one or more of those. I have a playlist called Condos, Houses, and you can also find that complete playlist there. Got a little bit of a light or something flashing there. A few people have asked me about night spots over here. Of course, you have the resorts that have their restaurant, bars, with the little bit of loosening up of the rules over here. Not sure, you'd have to contact each and every resort if you're interested in that kind of entertainment. The bar scene has really changed. You've got a lot of Koreans that live over here. You've got a focused Korean areas. I think that's a church we're going by, perhaps. Big speakers. And a number of bars that I was aware of in the past, they have closed permanently because of this economic crisis that has been brought on them, where they weren't allowed to stay open. So they've closed, they've lost their businesses, and probably never to return again. So if any of you guys have ideas, know about different entertainment spots, you can leave those comments in the comment section. Many of you know that Mactan Newtown is a multi-use, big commercial, residential, and retail area that is growing. There are lots of options here in the Philippines, probably many places in the world, with the world economy shut down for over a year now, pretty much. No tourists, virtually nobody being allowed to fly into the Philippines, for the most part, unless you fall into special categories. So there are tens of thousands of condos, hotel rooms, resort rooms, houses in subdivisions waiting to be sold and or rented out. So there are lots of options. I will be, many of you know, I've done a number of, been for about 5 years, I've been carrying my camera around, taking videos of condos and getting ready for some fiesta. Getting ready for a fiesta up here. They're going to hang that up above the street, I believe. But anyway, they're going to move out of the road for a bit anyway. Let us pass. But I occasionally get emails and comments. I'm not a realtor, I'm not a broker, but I certainly am willing to give some advice, some my thoughts on different things. In fact, one of my next videos will be on the rental market here in Cebu and a little bit around the Philippines. So if you have specific questions, I've got an email. I'm willing to, I'm not going to go into. I'm not working here. I'm not a consultant, but I can offer some ideas, guidelines, that type of thing. In the end of the day, it's about getting two parties together: a seller, a landlord, a buyer, a renter. This corner here is what's called the crossing. It's been my experience. People call it the crossing, but Filipinos also call intersections crossings. So I've confused taxi drivers a few times. They're coming over the bridge, and I say, yeah, go up to the crossing and take a right. And they come to the first intersection or crossing in their mind, and they said, turn right here. No, the crossing. But anyway, thanks for coming along for the ride. Stay safe, stay healthy, hopefully in the near future. Lots of friendly people out here. We can all travel again. So take care. See ya.